Hi guys, sorry that last video the other day was 16 minutes long, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet today. We are going to be doing lesson 6, which is factoring. So we're going to be using our lesson 5, which was greatest common factor, to help us to factor these problems today. So I can find the GCF and use that to factor a polynomial. So the warm-up repeats what we did the other day, so I'll save that for in class for extra practice. Let's again start with the vocabulary. So I am on page 86 in your workbook. Greatest common factor we defined, which was the largest or greatest number that can divide into a set of numbers. Okay, today we're going to be using our GCF to factor. Factoring is to rewrite as a multiplication problem. So if I ask you for the GCF, the greatest common factor, that was just a value, it was just a number. Factoring, we're going to use our GCF to help us rewrite our problems as multiplication problems. So if you look at the examples below, 6x plus 9 and 5x minus 15, you can see that's much different than the warm-up we have above, where number 1 is just a 10 and a 25. We are going to do like we did the other day and get the greatest common factor for our terms, but then we're going to use our greatest common factor to factor and rewrite as a multiplication problem. So for example, in the beginning of the unit, you learned the distributive property, which helped us to eliminate the parentheses. So let me give you an example. We had 3 parentheses x plus 6, and then we took that 3 and we distributed it and multiplied it to the x, and then we multiplied it to the 6. So today I'm going to be giving you the product, 3x plus 18, and then you have to give me the factored version, which would be the original, which in this case was the 3 parentheses x plus 6. So now you're going to be working backwards. So let's take a look at the first example. We have a 6x and a 9. The greatest common factor of 6 and 9 would be 3. The greatest number that can divide into 6 that also can divide into 9. Then I'm going to put my parentheses because factor means to rewrite as a multiplication problem. In order to undo the multiplication, we need to divide. So for the step number 3, it says divide each term by the GCF, because in order to undo multiplication, you need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to take the GCF, which is 3, and divide it into each term. Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and I need the x. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then the plus sign stays in between because a positive divided by a positive is still a positive. So this is the factored version of 6x plus 9. If I was to distribute the 3 to the 2x, that would be 6x. And if I multiplied the 3 to the 3, it would be 9. Sorry, I'm all tongue-tied over here. So the factored version is 3 parentheses 2x plus 3. Let's try again. I have 5x minus 15. The biggest number that can divide into 5 that also can divide into 15 would be 5, the GCF. Now, if you need to, off to the side, do the T-chart, the tree diagram, or any other method, by all means do that. But again, I'm just doing what I said and taking my 5. The biggest number that can divide into 5 is 5. 5 can divide into 15. Factoring, I'm going to rewrite as a multiplication problem. I'm going to divide my terms by my GCF, which was 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I could put a 1x. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so I'm going to put a 3 and a negative 3 or a minus 3. And then, again, if you want to double check yourself, 5 times 1x is 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, but I don't need to do that. That's just something that you should be wanting to do for a check. You do not necessarily need the 1 in front of the x. We talked about when you have a coefficient of 1, it's invisible. So we could just leave it as 5 parentheses x minus 3. If you want to leave the 1, that's fine. That's not wrong. You can have it there. But if it's multiple choice, you won't see it there. Problem number 6, factor. we have 10 and 25. So again, if I work backwards from 10, 10 can go into 10, 5 can go into 10, 2 can go into 10. So the greatest common factor from that list that can also divide into 25 would be 5. So 5, parentheses, divide each term by 5. I'm going to have 2x plus 5. Okay, number 7, I start with the smaller of the two values, just like I did in the GCF video. So if you did not watch that video, please watch that before you move further with today's lesson. I have 7 and 14. The greatest number that can divide into 7 is 7, which also can divide evenly into 14. Divide each term by 7. I have x plus 2, or 1x plus 2 if you want to put the 1 there. 16 and 12, the smaller of the two is 12. 12 can go into 12. 12 can't go into 16. I work backwards. 11 doesn't work. 10 doesn't work. 9 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. 6 works. 6 can go into 12, and 6 cannot go into 16. Still work backwards. 5 can't go into 12. 4 can go into 12. 4 can also go into 16. So 4 would be my GCF. Divide 4 into both of them. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I have 4x, and then 12 divided by 4, or negative 12 divided by 4 is a minus 3. 30 and 45, I start with the smaller of the two. 30 can go into 30. I work backwards. 15 can go into 30. 15 can also go into 45. Yeah, you could use your calculator for that. I'm just generating it in my head, but you most certainly can use your calculator to see what works. So now 15 into 30 would be 2, and then 45 divided by 15 would be 3, and that's that, okay? Number 10, we have 24 and 32. So again, I start with the smaller of the two. So 24 can go into 24, 12 can go into 24, 8 can go into 24, 8, 16, 24, 32, and 8 can go into 32. So I'm going to do 8. Again, you want to start backwards with your factors of 24 because you want to use the biggest or greatest common factor. 8, 16, 24, so that's 3x. 8, 16, 24, 32, and that would be a 4. 10 and 18, smaller of the two is 10. So 10 can go into 10. 5 can go into 10, but again, neither of those can go into 18. And 2 can go into 10, and 2 can go into 18. So I'm going to use 2. So I have 5 minus 9x, okay? Number 12, 15 and 25. Let me see what else we have here. Okay. 15 and 25, so I'm going to start with the smaller of the two, which is 15. 15 can go into 15. 5 can go into 15 and also go into 25. So I'm going to use 5 as my GCF. I'm going to divide both of these by 5, and I'm going to have 3x minus 5. Number 13, we have a 3 and a 3, so the GCF is going to be 3. It's the greatest number they have in common. It's the only number they have in common other than 1. So now I have x minus 1. Some of you want to put the 1x, that's fine as well, okay? And then 14 and 15 repeat the fractions that we talked about. Number 14, you again are going to get the GCF of the numerators and the denominators. So I'm going to start with the denominator first. We have 5 in the denominator, so the GCF of 5 is going to be 5. Looking at the top, I have a 2 and a 4. My numerators, the GCF of 2 and 4 would be 2. Parentheses, right? So now 2/5, and this is going to look a little awkward, but I need to divide both of these by 2/5. So 2/5 divided by 2/5 would be 1, so 1x. 4/5 divided by 2/5, so you could do that right in the calculator. 4ABC5 divided by 2ABC5, and that would give you 2. And again, if this was multiple choice, you would not see the 1 there, but if you put it there, that's fine. Number 15, I'm going to start my denominator, my common denominator, which is 3, so my GCF is 3. I look at my numerators, which is a 2 and a 4, so the GCF is 2. Parentheses, I then divide by my GCF, so again, you could use your calculator to help you with that. 2/3 divided by 2/3 would be 1x. Minus 4/3 divided by 2/3, so 4ABC3 divided by 2ABC3 would be 2. And if I'm moving too fast for you, I apologize, but you should be pausing, rewinding as the video progresses so you can keep up with it at your level. Okay. 16 and 17, I am not going to go over right now. It's working backwards with area. I find it more important that you're able to factor these expressions. So we'll practice some more of this in class. So 87 try these we'll do together. Your Google form will be on page 88. So again, I'm not going to ask you to do the bottom section, finding the missing side of a rectangle. I'm just going to ask you to factor in the Google form, or what we do in order to factor. So hopefully we're paying attention to the steps. And we are getting to the end of the unit. I believe we have 2 more lessons left next week, and then we are done. Then we're going to test right before Halloween. So half of you are going to test right before Halloween, and the other half are going to test right after Halloween. So unit 3 is almost done. I will talk to you soon. Good luck on your Google